Okay, guys, you think I'm gonna open like I always do, talking about the Cuse? Well, that's subject number 2. I'm gonna open by talking about that annual rite in February here in the Finger Lakes, the Section 5 tournament. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one for local schools, especially because the Waterloo girls are ranked number 1 in Class B1, and also they're pretty much ranked number 1 in the state in Class B. And you know who their first round opponent's gonna be? North Rose Wolcott / Sodas. You know what? They're probably gonna need the Sodas, because you know what? They're gonna be a sacrificial lamb. Now you know what? Let's start chanting. Oh, oh. Well, some of you hard rockers might know where that chant's from, but I'm not going to really say the title, although I could amend it. You got your basketballs to the wall, man. Yeah, that's especially what's going to happen. North Rose Wolcott / Sodas. Why? Can't they have separate teams? Oh well, they're going to be a sacrificial lamb. Waterloo's going to make mincemeat out of them. They're going to drink a few sodas, if you know what I mean, on their way to a Class B1 and Class B title, and hopefully a state Class B title. Let's go, Waterloo girls. Yeah, I'm always behind you. That way when we turn around to run, if you lose, I'm going to be in front. But you know what? You're such powerful, Coach Bree. You've done a fantastic job. And it's going to be, feel the breeze when Waterloo wins the state title. But let's talk about a couple of the other teams. The Waterloo guys, they're probably going to have a little tougher time. I don't know whether maybe they might not even get past Geneva. Who knows? Geneva's got some big men, and it'll be an interesting matchup. You know, I want the Waterloo guys to do good, but we'll see. And as for the Blue Devils, it might be a tough road to hoe. And don't think of that. I mean hoe the garden utensil. I mean, it might be a tough road for the girls because they play Pennies. And the Mustangs have already beaten Minders twice this year. So it should be an interesting game. For the guys, it's going to be an interesting matchup, especially if the World of Inquiry wins. That could be their opponent, or it could be North Rose Wolcott. No sodas. What are they drinking? Orange juice? Or whatever juice? Maybe water. Who knows? But I mean, Minders as guys, they got a little better road to maybe the Class B2 title. But I mean, it's going to be interesting with the girls. Let's remember, it's Section 5 basketball. It's going to be interesting. I mean, you want me to chant again? Nah. Well, I'm going to go from maybe chanting, oh, to talking about Syracuse basketball. Yes, interesting week coming off of the thing with Jesse Edwards, especially the loss to Virginia Tech. And I mean, they started on their road with their victories against Boston College, a good 20-point win. But do you have to be the cardiac Cuse even to an opponent you should have gone with? Yeah, Georgia Tech was right for the pickings. But you know, that rambling wreck gave Syracuse all it could handle in the Dome, and we wound up just getting by 1 point in overtime. Had we lost that, we could have done this to our NCAA chances. Phew. Now, I don't know where that kiss is going to land, but I don't know. But now it's going to be an interesting road for the last 4 games. Yes, Notre Dame tonight. Then Saturday, Duke. Mike Krzyzewski's last game in the Carrier Dome. And we don't want him to win, do we? No. And then North Carolina down in Chapel Hill. And to close it out, Miami. I mean, we're 15-12 right now. We gotta win at least one of those to keep from finishing below 500. You know what? Wins against any of those will help our cause for the NCAA tournament. I think maybe we have to win all of those, which I don't know is possible. And maybe we have to get almost to the final of the ACC tournament. You know what? I think we're looking at the NIT or the CBI. Speaking of CBI, anybody got a ground fault? That's what you're going to need with a CBI. Gonna be an interesting couple of games before my next show. Notre Dame, Duke, and North Carolina. We'll see what happens, Cuse. And no more cardiac Cuse, shall we? My heart can't take it. Oh well. Now I'm gonna go from talking about this basketball team to talking about one of the great guys who changed basketball but looked like an idiot. Juwan Howard. I mean, I'm proud of you for becoming the coach of Michigan. You had that great long career in the NBA. You were part of a class of 30-some years ago who changed the game. The Fab Five still holds a big place in my heart, and you were one of them. You, Jalen Rose, Chris Webber, you were the big stars from it. Of course, Ray Jackson and Jimmy King did their parts. Didn't exactly have good big pro careers, but you know what? The five of you changed it. And Howard, yeah, you became the Michigan coach. Well, what was all that bull there against Wisconsin? Well, you know what? It's an episode of Coaches Behaving Badly. First of all, that whole thing. Why the full court press with 15 seconds to go, especially if you weren't going to win the game? And secondly, guard. What's with that timeout there? Greg Gard. He's got to be on his guard if he pulls more crap like that. And also right there, you'll, quote, remember, unquote, that whole thing. And of course, when the game ended, that's when the poop hit the fan. Yes. I mean, both coaches. Guard. What's the idea of grabbing Howard like that? Hey, if Howard didn't want to shake your hand, why'd you grab him and want to explain it? Hey, you saw his reaction, yeah. He had to, quote, protect, unquote, himself. Protect yourself from what, Howard? Somebody's, hand? Yeah. And then that whole thing escalated, you pointing fingers and everything, and the players getting involved. And you know what? You decided to do a Fab Five. I mean, 5 fingers. Yeah, slapping the Wisconsin assistant coach, triggering that fight, of which several players also got 1-game suspensions. You know, Howard, you deserved that 5-game suspension. Guard, you should have got at least a 1-game suspension. Because you know what? Shouldn't have been aggressive like that towards Howard. Howard didn't want to shake your hand. You don't grab him by the arm. Well, whatever. An ugly scene there in Madison, Wisconsin, and an ugly epitaph to the season, especially because Michigan was still right in the thick of maybe the NCAA tournament rush. Well, now they're going to be without their leader for about 5 games. Howard, you weren't fab. You were downright pfft. That's what I have to say to you, Howard. And last but not least, the XFL coming back next year. Supposedly it's going to be a, quote, petri dish, unquote, for the NFL, for ideas and that. Why would you use the XFL in comparison to something where germ cultures can grow? And also you're saying incubator. Where's the eggs? Where's the hen? Where's the rooster? I don't see anything. Incubator. Oh, it's hatching. Yeah. Oh, yes. Here's an idea. Don't take kickoffs out. Kickoffs are part of it. Oh, here's another idea. 1 foot down in bounds instead of both feet like colleges. Oh, Don't have Vince McMahon do his introduction, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who's also a co-owner now of the XFL, don't do any long-winded speeches like you did before the Super Bowl. Heck, we've already got a league coming out of a nearly 40-year hibernation this year with the rebirth of the USFL. Yeah, that was great, a little bit of entertainment for me back when I was 11, 12 years old. Football in the spring, what a novel idea. But you lost a lot of money. But hell, one of the alums is going into the Hall of Fame this year, Sam Mills. Sadly, he won't be alive. But you know what? Be great, because he was one darn good linebacker. But you know what? The XFL, just wondering whether they ought to put that to rest once and for all. McMahon's no longer part of it, because, hey, it lost money. But you know what? Are we going to listen to Dwayne The Rock Johnson? This is the XFL! Dwayne, put a sock in it. And that's all I have to say this week.